Sometimes you just need to get away. This is what I was feeling last week as we embarked on a journey from Seattle down to California. I work remotely from home, and my surroundings can get a little bit tiresome sometimes. So when that happens, I just like to get up, travel somewhere, and work remotely from a different destination. A lot of times this happens to be Europe, but it doesn't have to be so far away. I think one of the great things about working remotely means that you can explore different areas of the world, even if that means it's just a couple of states away, or even in the state that you live in. We made it to the Seattle Amtrak station, where we would embark on a 27-hour journey from Seattle down to Los Angeles. We're actually getting off in Salinas, California, renting a car, and then driving over to Carmel, California for the week. Since this is a long journey, we opted for the first class sleeper car ticket, which means these two seats fold down into a bed and then another bed comes down from the top. With the first class ticket, all of your meals are included, which take place in a dining car. It was actually very nice, and the food was very good, lots of selection to choose from. They come around and take reservations for each and every meal, so you know exactly when to go and eat. There's also an observation car, which we spent quite a bit of time in, especially to watch the sunset and sunrise. Thankfully, there were a few stops that were considered fresh air stops, where we were able to get off the train and kind of explore the station that we were at. The Portland one was pretty cool. They even had a palm tree in the front, which seemed very out of place, but fun to look at. After about 15 or 20 minutes, we would head back to the train and board yet again for another couple of hours of riding down the Pacific coast. One of these stops was in a very cute little town where we were greeted by a flash mob. The window next to my bed actually faced the flash mob, so it was really cool to kind of sit in my bed and watch them dance and then eventually dramatically fall to the ground after they were done. Our trip was in early October, so the fall foliage was out and about. We spent a lot of time just looking at the yellows and the oranges and the reds of the trees around us, especially from the observation car where there were quite a few windows. It was really cool that we got to see a lot of the world that people might not get to see, because if you're driving down the coast, you're probably going along the Pacific Coast Highway and not driving through these back roads and small towns that the railroad tracks run along. I also passed the time by reading my book quite a bit, especially at night. They had a reading light available for every bed. I'm reading the A Court of Thorns and Roses series right now. I was on the second book when I filmed this, and now I'm on the third. It's so good. I woke up to an incredible sunrise the next morning. This is actually the view from my bed. The window shades do open and close, but I kept them open for most of the night, especially in the morning when I saw all of these colors popping through. I watched them for a little while here and then put on some clothes and went over to the observation car to get an even better view of all of the bright colors in the morning. Our second day actually went by very fast on the train. We had a quick breakfast where we finally got to see some views of California. We had one of those fresh air stops in San Jose, so we walked around the train station for a little bit, had again a quick lunch, and then it was time to get off the train at Salinas. From here, we Ubered to Monterey, where we picked up a rental car and explored some of this area both by driving and by biking around along the coast.
Take me out to California. Take me out to California. I feel the day is coming to an end, and my eyes are drawn to southern skies. And all the while I was trying to pretend the promised land was there beyond the great divide. But I'll be coming home soon. Yeah, I'll be coming home soon. So take me out to California, where the sun is always high, where the streets are paved with gold and no one ever gets old. I'll be longing for that day till you come and take me silver screen. The happy face is in a sign upon a hill. The wine is flowing and the fields forever green. And all your hopes and dreams will always be fulfilled. So I'll be coming real soon. Yeah, I'll be coming real soon. So take me out to California, where the sun is always high, where the streets are paved with gold and no one ever gets old. I'll be longing for that day till you come and take me home. California, California, here I come.
Hi, from Carmel, California. I'm down in California for a couple of days, just kind of exploring and also working remotely here. I came down with a friend. We took the Amtrak from Seattle to Salinas and then came over to Carmel from there. The first time taking the Amtrak, which was a really cool experience, and I would totally do it again. It takes a lot longer than flying, obviously, but it made it really fun. You didn't have any hassle of like security or, you know, uncomfortable seats when you're flying and stuff like that. So it was kind of a fun experience. And now we're in Carmel, and this town is like another level. It's so freaking pretty. Every corner you turn looks like Italy or France. Some of the doors and stucco walls look like Greece. I was in an Irish pub yesterday, so there are so many different countries throughout this area that they've kind of modeled their town after. And so I've had a lot of fun kind of exploring around. We went to the beach last night at sunset, which was really fun. It was like a Santorini sunset, honestly. It was so good. But yeah, so we are kind of just hanging out. My friend is on PTO, so she is like going for runs and hikes and stuff during the day while I'm working, and then at night we'll kind of go out and explore, have some good food and wine, and it's just been really fun so far. Typically when I work remotely like this, I'm doing it from Europe. That's my favorite place to work remotely from, and when I do that, my schedule looks a little bit different than it does here. My schedule's usually, you know, go out and explore in the morning and early afternoon and then come back around like 2 or 3 in the afternoon and work until, 11 or midnight. Here, I'm still in the same time zone that I'm usually in, which is crazy to me. It feels like I should be, 8 or 9 hours ahead of Seattle time, but usually I'll start around 8:30 a.m. and go to like 4:30 or 5 p.m. and I'll go out and get, breakfast beforehand, and then I'll sneak out for lunch during the day, and then at night kind of, again, go out and explore, go to the beach for sunset, and then hit up a good restaurant for dinner. So it looks a little bit more like normal life here just because it's the same time zone, but it's still really cool to be able to work remotely and go kind of explore a new town without having to take any PTO. So I'm sitting down at the desk that I am working from. I'm about to start work for the day. I've got my laptop right here. Again, welcome. This place is so beautiful. I'd highly recommend coming here. Working remotely has been awesome, especially if you're in this time zone. It's really cool to not have to adjust your work schedule. It makes it really easy if you're getting started working remotely. So this place, might be a good destination for you if you work remotely on the West Coast and you want to kind of dip your toes into travel while working remotely. think after working remotely and traveling in Europe a few times, I have this sense that if I'm going to be working and traveling, I need to do it in some epic destination that's thousands of miles away in a completely different time zone, and that's just not the case. This trip proved to me that I can have an amazing adventure while working without going too far away. Right now, I live in Washington, so California was just 2 states away, but even if I went somewhere amazing in Washington, we know that Washington has some incredible places. I think I would have just as great of an adventure. So this trip was a learning experience for me, and I want to pass that on to you. If you are thinking of working remotely and traveling, but you're a little nervous about going far from home alone, maybe, you don't have to. An epic adventure does not require traveling far. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!